Hey everyone, it's Wednesday, March 3rd. The time is 3 p.m. and the temperature right now is 7 degrees Celsius. That was the 35A Jane Street bus I just got off of, and I boarded that at Jane Station. And I'm currently walking north up the east side of Jane Street. And the plan for this one is to head on up to Annette Street, and then I'll walk east along the entire length of Annette Street over to where it ends at Dundas Street West. And the area off to the left here is known as Baby Point. And much of the part of Annette Street I'll be walking across is in the very southern end of the Junction neighbourhood. And this part of Jane Street here, I have not yet recorded on the channel. I think I did on a bike ride, but not yet on a walking video or a live stream. So it's always neat to check out a new area. And Annette Street, where I'm heading, features a rather colorful mix of retail shops and homes and community amenities and schools. And there's even a Masonic temple and an old church that's been converted into lofts. And I saw that they had a unit currently for sale for over $3.3 million. So I'm rather interested to check that out. And I've never really taken a close look at the retail stores along this part of Jane before. Crafted organic chocolates and ice cream. So this should be Annette Street, just up ahead here. And this is the western edge of Annette Street, as it is Baby Point Road on the other side. Here is Queen Margarita Pizza. I'm pretty sure I've seen a few other locations in the city. I've ordered from their Leslieville location before. And I'm quite sure I saw a location over on Dundas West as well. Maybe I'll have to look that up. I think the sunlight might be a little better if I walk along the north side of Annette Street here. The other side seems to be cast in a bit of shade. Cranberry Flirt, Express Nail, and Blow Dry Bar. There's a look at some of the retail on the south side. In a lot of ways, Annette Street kind of reminds me a bit of Harvard Street. It's got a very similar kind of feel to it. And I read an article on my way over that was posted on the website BlogTO in 2011, and they listed 7 interesting shops along Annette Street, and I think only 5 of them are still in business, including Cranberry Flirt, which we just walked by. So I'll see if I can spot the other ones along the way. It'll be a good test of the memory. St. James Catholic Church. Perhaps this part of Annette Street is also in Baby Point. I thought that was just the area on the west side of Jane Street, and I keep seeing that word pop up over here. And we're certainly having quite a nice day. It's either the nicest day of the year so far or the second nicest day. We had one other day that was nice and warm with blue skies. Well, warm relative to the recent weather we've been having. Yeah, the sign here says Baby Point, so perhaps from here over to Runnymede, I don't know why I said it that way, will be Baby Point, because I know the area just to the east of there is considered the Junction. I also found a couple of homes that are selling for $999,000 at 252 Annette and 220 Annette, so we'll see if I can remember and spot those along the way. Hoop Driver Bicycles. There's Baby Point Barber Shop. With any luck, they'll be able to reopen on March 8th. The province hasn't yet made their announcement as towards the fate of Toronto. I think that'll be coming up towards the end of the week. So this is Dury Street. There's the vacant storefront. And I think I overdressed a bit today. I'm wearing my coat with a hoodie underneath, but I probably could have left the coat at home. This is Church of the Nazarene. Our church is closed until further notice. I have no idea what the Church of the Nazarene is. And that's got to be a house that dates back to the 1800s. I did consult my list of historical properties that I like to pull up on my way down to recording these walks, and that house was not mentioned. So here we are at 584. There's another, what looks to be vacant storefront. Albanian Muslim Society of Toronto. Oops, that was me. So there is a bus that runs along Annette Street, although it doesn't seem to be all that frequent. I don't think we've seen one yet. And that runs between Jane Station and St. George Station. So it'll run along Annette and then it'll cross over onto DuPont Street, where Annette ends at Dundas. I'm quite sure this is Runnymede Road here, but I don't see any signs to confirm that. Am I blind? Oh. Usually major streets get a bigger sign than that. So this is where the Junction begins, although this is the very south end of the Junction. Runnymede will go north up to St. Clair, and to the south of here will be Runnymede Station. Here's one of the places from the Blog TO article, Buddha Pie. And apparently across the street should be another one, Butcher by Nature, and the Westwood Grill. Let's see, Pan Asian Cuisine Restaurant. And yes, I am just reading that off the sign. Here comes the bus. And I kind of wonder if this is one of those streets where they alternate street parking. So right now it's on the north side, and then at some point it switches over to the south side. So there's a look north up into a residential street in the Junction neighborhood. And I think the neighborhood to the right of here is known as High Park North. When I get to Quebec Avenue, just to the south of there will be High Park subway station. Well, maybe not just to the south. It's probably a good 10-minute hike or so. For rent. And I think back in 2008, the city installed bike lanes along Annette Street. And from what I could gather, it seems the average home around here seems to sell for about 1.5 million. Although I did only find 3 active listings. Although it was admittedly a rather half-assed search on my way over. I would assume a lot of these homes go back to probably around the 1920s. And this is Fairview Avenue. So just up ahead here is a rather large block of schools we'll be going by. There's a big old school just to the south of here. There's a pretty varied style of residential homes along Annette as well. So this is Evelyn Avenue. And look at this old guy. That could be dressed up as a rather creepy house. Could feature that in a movie for sure. And there is St. Cecilia Catholic School across the street. Maybe I'll cross over to the south side. And I'll look to the west, pretty much directly at the sun. I don't think we're gonna get another spectacular sunset like yesterday. The sky was lit up in a gorgeous, I guess, pink or purple hue. I don't really know how to describe colors all that well, or at least colors of sunsets, but I did post a picture of it on my Instagram. That might just be the nicest picture I've taken before. And here's Annette Community Recreation Center. Oh no.
Oh, wait, 30 or 45.
And I think just to the south side of the school, possibly in the same building, is High Park Alternative School, which I think is a non-semestered school. And that right next to the rec center should be Annette Street Junior and Senior Public School. So it's probable the alternative school is located somewhere in those buildings. It's good to see a busy schoolyard. And there across the street is one of the buildings that was listed as being historically significant. Maybe I'll just cross over here and get a closer look at it. And that is the Heinzman House. It's got a really interesting kind of tower feature to it. And that was built in 1889. Oh, there's High Park Alternative listed on the end of Annette Street Public School. So that solves that mystery.
If he were to come over, he would be with you the whole time.
Yeah, not a problem. So I'm looking for 252 and 220 Annette Street. For those homes that were for sale for $999,000. There's 250. So I'm guessing this guy here is 252. It's a fair size house. And coming up is Quebec Avenue. So you could take this north up into the main part of the junction, or head south down to High Park Station. Oh, this is a good neighbor. This is on that list of Blog TO retail shops to look out for in this neighborhood. And to the south down there on the right hand side is the Humberside Collegiate Institute. I think you can kind of see it off in the distance there, but I will not be heading down that way. There's some more gorgeous old homes here. There's 220. I don't see a for sale sign on the lawn. I didn't on the other one as well, but I did see what I thought was a current listing for that one. And it looks like there's a loft conversion in progress across the street, although they've completely gutted the structure. It'll be interesting to see that one fall through to completion. And this is High Park Avenue, just up ahead. So High Park itself is pretty much directly to the south of here. There seems to be a lot of churches along Annette. And I think I see the Masonic Temple just up ahead. And this would be Pacific Avenue. So I'm probably nearing the end of Annette Street here. And there is St. Cecilia's Catholic Church, which I would assume is related to the Catholic school I walked by not too long ago. And there's the Masonic Temple. And my understanding of these places is that they're basically a men's club that does a lot of charity work with some ceremonial stuff thrown in there. I think they refer to themselves as Freemasons, and they often take care of one another's families when they're in times of need. And here is the loft conversion. And I saw a 2,800 square foot unit in here for $3.3 million. And that is 152 Annette Street. Let's see if I can catch a break in traffic here and take a close look at this old library. This is the Annette Street branch, Toronto Public Library. You know, there's a few viewers of the channel that are quite interested in libraries. And as per this plaque, it dates back to 1909. I wonder if that's around the time that Masonic Temple was built. I wasn't able to find the year of that building. So just up ahead here, Annette Street comes to an end. And that is Dundas Street West, which oddly enough runs north to south. Although it will turn to the west right when it gets up to probably just a few blocks north of here. And it'll head east and west across the main retail part of the junction. There goes the 26 bus. And there you can see a Dollarama. So that is Dundas Street up there. And this will be Dundas Street straight ahead. And off to the south of here will be Bloor Street. So what I am going to do is make my way south, or sorry, this is Keele Street. Sorry, I thought that was Dundas Street straight ahead. So Dundas will be up for a few more blocks. So I clearly don't know this area super well. I was kind of wondering where Keele Street was because Keele and Dundas is the main intersection in the junction. And if you were to take Keele north up to St. Clair, you'll find yourself in the Stockyards area. So it looks like we have a few more blocks to go. You could take Keele south here to Keele Station at Bloor Street. And there's a look to the north. Today I'm planning on doing a live stream after this, but I think I gotta take off one of these layers before I do that. The Junction neighborhood has a rather fascinating history to it. A long time ago, Prohibition was introduced. And it wasn't until around the year 2000 that bars and restaurants were allowed to serve alcohol. So that whole area was sort of known for lower property values. And there was a lot of crime, drugs and prostitution and things like that. Then once they finally lifted Prohibition, I have no idea what took them so long. I think it was older residents that were clinging on to that idea and supporting it. Once they lifted that silly alcohol ban, it's become one of the city's more desirable neighborhoods. It's kind of similar, at least in timeline, to Leslieville. It was around the same time that Leslieville became one of the city's hotspots. There's some older Victorian style homes here. And finally, Dundas Street. So what I'll be doing, I think, is live streaming around the Junction Triangle area, which is, as you could tell by the name, bordered in by railway tracks in a triangular shape. I don't know why it took me so long to think of the word shape. There's the Lucy McCormick Senior School. You can tell the two owners of these units weren't in lockstep when it came time to paint that property. Here is Indian Road. And it was actually that live stream that kind of got me to record this video. I was looking for an area where I could just kind of wander around and explore in a stream. I was down at Cherry Beach yesterday. So I was looking for a very different kind of environment for today. And I thought with the West Toronto Rail Path being here and some interesting character to explore, that I would stream here. And I was looking for a street in the area to record a video. And I have done Dundas Street through the Junction not too long ago. So recording Annette Street just seemed like a bit of a natural fit. But here is where Annette comes to an end. So there's where Dundas Street bends to the northwest and eventually runs east to west. And then at some point in Etobicoke, it dips south and then turns east to west again. So I'm just going to maybe head over to the West Toronto Rail Path. And start my live stream. But there's a look down, or I said down. Down usually refers to north and south, and we say along or across when it's east and west. I often get those screwed up when I record these videos, but there's a look along DuPont Street, and that is the West Toronto Rail Path right there on the other side of the rail tracks. And that is where I will be streaming from. So if you want to see what someone who's overdressed for the occasion looks like, there I am. No winter hat today, but I did put my hood up because my hair still looks kind of stupid. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this walk along Annette Street, starting at Jane and ending at Dundas. That was the entire length of the street. If you wish to support the channel, you can check out my Patreon in the description. There'll be a link for that. You could also look up channel membership on the main YouTube page. They're very similar, so you only need to sign up for one if you're interested. And you can check out my Instagram account as well. There is a link to that in the description, or you could just look up Johnny Strides. All right, don't forget to leave me your thoughts and comments down below. I hope you enjoyed this walk along Annette Street. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will catch you on the next one.